There is a certain allure to the dark in philosophy, not the darkness of malice or ill intent, but the profound, often unsettling truths that lie beneath the surface of our conventional morality and the comfort we seek. It is in these depths where easy answers dissolve that true strength can be forged. Friedrich Nietzsche, a name that often conjures images of storm and tempest, stands as a titan in this exploration. His ideas, when stripped of the misinterpretations that have clouded them for decades, offer not a descent into nihilism, but a powerful blueprint for psychological fortification and radical independence. We embark on a journey into the heart of what it means to be psychologically unstoppable. This is not about brute force or aggressive dominance, but about cultivating a mind that cannot be halted, swayed, or defeated by external forces or internal fragmentation. We will dissect hidden principles, those often overlooked dynamics that can render the mind unyielding, resilient, and truly free. Think of this as an excavation, not of what is easy or comforting, but of what is essential. This pursuit echoes the profound work of Carl Jung, his relentless exploration of the unconscious psyche, and his understanding of the immense power that lies in integrating the shadow. For just as Jung sought to bring the hidden aspects of ourselves into conscious awareness, Nietzsche guides us to confront the uncomfortable truths about human nature, about power, and about the values we hold dear. Consider this a crucial question that will echo through our exploration. Are we truly the masters of our own minds, or are we unconsciously governed by external forces, by the whispers of societal expectation, by the subtle currents of resentment that flow beneath the surface of our lives? This series is dedicated to uncovering those governing forces, to shining a light into the hidden corners of our own psychology. We will navigate the often misunderstood concepts of Nietzsche. Our aim is not to champion egoism or a reckless pursuit of power for its own sake. Instead, we seek to cultivate an authentic, ethically grounded personal power, a strength that arises from self-knowledge, from the courage to confront one's own limitations, and from the wisdom to discern true value from fleeting opinion. This is the path to becoming psychologically unstoppable, not through external conquest, but through an internal revolution. This is the unveiling of the dark Nietzsche, the unseen architect of a mind that can withstand any storm. Your perceived goodness might be the most cunning form of psychological imprisonment. This is a provocative premise, one that challenges the very foundations of our moral assumptions, those deeply ingrained beliefs about what is right and wrong, good and bad. It asks us to look beyond the comfortable narratives we've inherited and to question the unseen architecture of our own minds. At the heart of this exploration lies Nietzsche's concept of the will to power. It is crucial to understand this precisely, not as brute force or a desire to dominate others, but as the fundamental, life-affirming drive for growth, for overcoming, and for self-mastery. As Nietzsche himself stated in Asterisk Beyond Good and Evil Asterisk, life itself is willed to power. This is not an invitation to aggression, but a profound insight into the very essence of existence. It means that the inherent drive within all living things is to expand, to become more, to transcend limitations. For us, this translates not to conquering others, but to conquering the self-overcoming inertia, fear, ingrained habits, and the subtle pressures of societal conditioning that seek to keep us small and compliant. Consider the historical echo of the Renaissance ideal, the asterisk uomo universale asterisk, the universal man. He embodied a multifaceted self-mastery, a testament to the will to power, applied not to conquest, but to personal development, to the cultivation of diverse skills and understanding. Psychologically, we often encounter internal resistance to this very growth. It is the laziness of the will, a subtle sabotage that keeps us bound to the familiar, preventing us from reaching our true potential for autonomy. Imagine the story of an artist not seeking fame or fortune, but driven by an unquenchable internal will to create. This artist breaks free from the restrictive constraints of academic tradition, their creative impulse transcending the need for external validation. Their power lies not in pleasing critics, but in the relentless act of creation itself. This shatters a common expectation that true power lies in external control over others or circumstances. Instead, the profound truth is that power resides in internal self-command. The more we consciously impose our will upon ourselves for the sake of growth, for the effort of learning, for the discipline of self-improvement, the less susceptible we become to external manipulation and control. This is the first essential layer of becoming psychologically unstoppable. Think of the will to power as the unseen current beneath the river of consciousness. It is the fundamental force directing its flow, its direction, its energy. To become psychologically unstoppable is to learn to understand and harness this current, rather than passively being swept away by its tides. As Nietzsche so eloquently put it, he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Understanding your inner will to power, your deep-seated drive for growth and self-creation, provides that essential why. What if the greatest source of your suffering is not the event itself, but your resistance to what has already happened? This question cuts to the core of our deepest pains, the sting of regret, the heavy burden of trauma, the lingering ache of what might have been. It is in this resistance that we find ourselves tethered, our energy sapped by the phantom grip of the past. Nietzsche's principle of Amor Fati, the love of fate, is often misunderstood as mere passive resignation, but it is far more profound. It is an active, affirmative embrace of all of life's events, the radiant joys and the crushing sorrows alike. It is the courageous declaration that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. This is not about bearing what is necessary with gritted teeth, nor about concealing the truth of our experiences. All idealism that seeks to mask necessity is a form of mendaciousness. Instead, it is about loving it, loving the very fabric of reality, woven with both light and shadow. Psychologically, the impact of resentment and regret is devastating. They act as anchors, keeping us bound to past events, draining the vital energy that should be fueling our present and future. To truly become unstoppable, we must learn to release this tether. This involves the practice of reframing adversity. This is not about denying the pain or pretending that suffering is pleasant. It is about recognizing with clear eyes the role that these difficult experiences have played in forging our resilience, in shaping our character, in teaching us lessons that comfort could never impart. Consider the story of someone who has endured profound loss. By actively embracing their fate, not as a victim, but as a co-creator of their destiny, they discover a new, unshakable sense of purpose and inner peace, a strength that was born precisely from the ashes of their pain. Here lies a counterintuitive truth. The very elements we fight against, our perceived failures, our most painful experiences, the moments that have left us wounded, are the essential raw materials for an unstoppable psyche. Resisting them, wishing them away, makes us vulnerable, fragile things. Embracing them, however, transforms us into something far more formidable. Think of it like this. A blacksmith takes raw, unyielding iron and plunges it into the searing heat of the forge. Through this intense process, through the repeated striking and tempering, the iron is transformed. Amor Fati is that forge. It is the principle that allows us to take the harsh, unvarnished realities of life and, through conscious, deliberate embrace, transform them into the unyielding strength of our character. It is the essence of Nietzsche's potent phrase, "What does not kill me makes me stronger." The truth you believe might be the most sophisticated cage ever built for your mind. This statement directly confronts the audience's deep-seated desire for intellectual liberation, for freedom from the constraints of unexamined assumptions and inherited dogma. It challenges the very notion of truth as a fixed external entity, suggesting instead that our most cherished beliefs could be the bars of our own prison. Nietzsche's concept of perspectivism offers the master key to decoding these societal narratives and the internal fragmentation they can cause. Perspectivism posits that there are no absolute, objective facts in the universe, only interpretations from different vantage points. This is not an invitation to nihilism, to a belief that nothing matters. Instead, it is a powerful tool for intellectual liberation, a way to break free from the suffocating grip of dogmatic thinking. As Nietzsche wrote in Asterisk on the genealogy of morality Asterisk, there are no phenomena, only interpretations. Everything we perceive, everything we understand is filtered through our unique lens, shaped by our experiences, our culture, our very being. Consider the societal context. Dominant narratives, whether political, cultural, or religious, are not simply neutral descriptions of reality. They are constructed, often subtly, to shape our perceptions and foster a herd mentality. We are encouraged to adopt a shared understanding, a collective viewpoint that can stifle individual thought. Psychologically, this can lead to profound internal fragmentation. We find ourselves unconsciously adopting conflicting external perspectives, leading to a fractured sense of self, a constant internal debate without resolution. To combat this, engage in a mental drill. Identify one of your most deeply held beliefs. Then question its origin. Is this belief truly yours, born from your own lived experience and critical thought, or is it an inheritance, a perspective adopted without deep examination? Consider the story of an individual who lived by a deeply ingrained societal myth, a narrative that dictated their choices and self-perception. By deconstructing this myth, by understanding its constructed nature and its limitations, they achieved a profound personal realignment, a liberation of their own inner compass. Here lies a shattered expectation. The relentless pursuit of a single objective truth can, in itself, be a trap. True wisdom, true psychological strength lies not in finding that elusive, singular truth, but in understanding the multiplicity of perspectives. It lies in the conscious choice of one's own standpoint, not as the only asterisk truth, but as YOUR, truth, forged through critical examination. This conscious choice is how you gain mastery over your interpretation of reality, how you begin to build an unstoppable mind. Perspectivism is like being a cartographer of the mind. Instead of being lost on a single, potentially misleading map, you learn to read many. You understand their biases, their limitations, and their potential. By understanding the landscape from multiple viewpoints, you are empowered to chart your own territory with unprecedented clarity and freedom. As Nietzsche observed, we are known to ourselves only as we are known to others. By understanding how others interpret the world and how the world interprets us, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the forces that shape our reality. This is the foundation of true intellectual independence. Your greatest enemy isn't outside you. It's the comfortable mediocrity you habitually accept within. This sentiment speaks directly to the audience's deep-seated fear of stagnation, the quiet dread of a life lived without true growth or purpose. It is the enemy that whispers complacency, that urges us to remain where we are, safe but unfulfilled. Central to this principle is Nietzsche's concept of self-overcoming, or überwinding asterisk. This is not a one-time event, but a continuous, dynamic process of transcending one's current limitations, stepping beyond comfort zones, and critically examining inherited values. It is the very engine of psychological growth, the relentless force that propels us forward. As Zarathustra proclaimed, man is something that must be overcome. We are not static beings. We are in a perpetual state of becoming, and true strength lies in embracing beginning this journey of constant self-transformation. From a psychological insight, we understand the neurobiological basis of habit and comfort. Our brains are wired for efficiency, and this often means resisting change, clinging to the familiar pathways. The herd mentality, a powerful social survival mechanism, further stifles individual potential by encouraging conformity. This leads to a hidden resistance to true independence, a deep-seated fear of isolation and judgment that keeps us bound to the group. To counteract this, actively implement small, deliberate acts of uncomfortable growth daily. Challenge a personal bias you hold. Dedicate time to learning a new, difficult skill. Face a minor fear that you have been avoiding. These small victories accumulate, building momentum. Consider the transformation of an individual who, tired of passive conformity, actively sought out challenges. They moved from a life dictated by external expectations to one of active self-authorship, their mind becoming increasingly resilient and independent with each step. Here lies a profound revelation. True personal power is not about dominating others or controlling external circumstances. It is about the constant, difficult, yet exhilarating process of mastering oneself. This ongoing struggle, this perpetual ascent, is precisely what makes the mind unstoppable. It is always evolving, always becoming, never settling into a stagnant state. Think of self-overcoming as the ascent of a mountain. The path is often arduous, the air thin and cold, demanding immense effort. But with each step taken, the view expands, revealing new vistas of possibility. The climber becomes stronger, more resilient, more capable of enduring the harsh elements. They are not merely surviving the climb, they are becoming the climber. This is the essence of true power. As Nietzsche suggested, the highest state that can be reached by the highest type of man is not the feeling of power, but the feeling of having power. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you possess the inner fortitude to face any challenge, to overcome any obstacle, because you have already overcome yourself. What if the moral compass you follow is a tool of your own subjugation? This question strikes at the heart of potential internal conflict, challenging us to examine the very ethical frameworks that may be holding us captive. It forces us to confront the possibility that what we have been taught as good might, in fact, be a subtle form of control, a mechanism that keeps us from reaching our fullest potential. Central to this principle is Nietzsche's radical concept of the revaluation of all values, or W-E-R-Ton, aller Wert asterisk. This is not a call for simple rebellion, but a profound, systematic re-examination and, where necessary, a transformation of our fundamental beliefs and moral frameworks. This process is the ultimate defense against external manipulation, the construction of an inner bulwark that cannot be breached by the whispers of societal pressure or the dictates of unexamined tradition. Nietzsche himself proclaimed, "The revaluation of all values is my formula for the greatest self-overcoming of humanity." It is the ultimate act of psychological sovereignty. To understand this, we must consider the ethical context. Nietzsche distinguished between master morality and slave morality, two distinct frameworks for creating values and their profound implications for authentic power. Master morality arises from the powerful, who affirm themselves and their actions as good, judging external actions based on their own strength and vitality. Slave morality, born from the oppressed, inverts this, labeling the values of the powerful as evil and elevating values like humility, pity, and meekness. Psychologically, we must identify unrecognized personal resentments that might be secretly driving our moral judgments and behaviors. Are our pronouncements of virtue masks for suppressed anger or envy? The practical application here is to create a personal credo, a set of consciously chosen values. These values must be rigorously tested against the principles of self-mastery and authentic power, forming an inner citadel impervious to external pressures. Consider the journey story of an individual who, burdened by externally imposed guilt and shame, embarked on a path of revaluation. They moved beyond these inherited burdens to establish a robust, self-authored ethical code, a testament to their own inner authority. Here lies a profound realization. To be psychologically unstoppable, one must become the author of their own values, not merely an inheritor of those dictated by others. This process of revaluation is not about descending into amorality or embracing a cynical disregard for others. Instead, it is about establishing a higher, self-defined morality, one that promotes personal growth, authenticity, and a greater affirmation of life. Think of your inner citadel not as a fortress built with the brittle bricks of dogma, but with the tempered steel of critically examined values. It is a sacred sanctuary of the self, protected by the vigilant re-evaluation of all that seeks to enter and exert control. It is a space where your own strength is cultivated, where your own truth is forged. As Nietzsche wisely stated, one must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. This inner chaos, when confronted and revalued, becomes the fertile ground from which true self-authored values can emerge. We have journeyed through the profound, often unsettling landscapes of Nietzsche's philosophy, unveiling 5 hidden principles that form the bedrock of a psychologically formidable mind. We have confronted the will to power not as aggression, but as the fundamental drive for self-mastery. We have embraced Amor Fati, the love of fate, understanding it as the alchemy that transforms external manipulation into inner strength. We have wielded perspectivism as the master key, decoding societal narratives and our own internal fragmentation. We have committed to the art of self-overcoming, transcending comfort and mediocrity to forge authentic power. And finally, we have dared to undertake the revaluation of values, building an unshakable inner citadel against the forces that seek to control us. But what does it truly mean to be unstoppable? It is not a static endpoint, a final destination where all challenges cease. Rather, it is a continuous process, a perpetual becoming. The mind that cannot be halted is a mind that is always moving, always transforming, always growing. It is a dynamic state of being, fluid and adaptable, yet possessing an unyielding core of self-awareness and self-command. This journey echoes the profound work of Carl Jung and his concept of individuation. The path to becoming unstoppable is akin to this process, an integration of all aspects of the self, including the often feared shadow. It is about bringing the fragmented pieces of our psyche into a unified whole, creating a being capable of navigating the inherent complexities and contradictions of existence with courage and clarity. It is in this integration, this wholeness, that true psychological power resides. Now, the crucial question turns to you. How will you begin to revalue your own values, to question the inherited scripts that may be limiting you? How will you embrace your fate, not as a burden to be borne, but as the very forge that shapes your strength? The work of becoming unstoppable does not begin tomorrow or next week. It begins now in the deliberate choices you make, in the small acts of courage you undertake to overcome yourself. The ultimate power, as we have seen, lies not in controlling the external world, nor in dominating others. It lies in mastering the internal landscape, in forging a will that is both profoundly independent and ethically grounded. It is in this internal dominion that true freedom is found. As Nietzsche urged, the goal is to become what you are. This is the perpetual becoming, the essence of the unstoppable mind.